Happy Monday morning. We got to look at what's going on. How's everybody doing? Hope you're feeling good. Hope your portfolios are sitting there a little bit in the green. If not, we got to talk about it because we are setting up for an incredible Christmas season. Are we going to be hitting that 80K sooner than we expect? We're going to be breaking down before that breakout happens. 8 days left, 7 days left before one of the biggest events that happens every 4 years, and we've always seen the markets explode after this. We are setting up for an incredible next 12 months. Let's talk about it. We're going to be diving in here in just a moment, so hope everybody, you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, get that retweet going out, share the live stream that is dual streaming there on Twitter. We are also, of course, here on YouTube. We got the fam here in the house, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get some music playing and let's vibe.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish shelter. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pumping.
we are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't
flight
nobody
to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
It's time to get into it, everybody. The charts are looking right. It looks like we got a pretty major retest. Is this about to break out and go to the upside? We're going to talk about it. We got our boy Crypto Danks coming on here in a little while too. We got some things to go over first though. So let's look at it. Everybody get active in the chat. Throw a 1 if you're feeling grateful. Throw a 2 if you're ready for this breakout. Let's go. Good Monday morning. How are you all doing? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I took a little bit, kind of needed a little bit of time away from the charts this weekend. I had some family come in town, not expected also, but I had a wonderful weekend. I am fully recharged. I'm back. The markets are, man, we got a great weekly close where we're sitting with the price action and we're sitting right now, right here up in this zone that we've been waiting to really kind of close up here. Came back down, retested, got a W formation currently. We're getting a little bit of a gap down right now on the traditional stock market right now, and meaning we're seeing a likelihood of a little bit of a pullback. Will that give a little bit of a sell pressure, a little bit of a pullback in Bitcoin and altcoins as well? Very likely, and that's okay because how we were looking at this, having this rounding nature of the price action, higher lows consistently 1, 2, 3, 4 so far, especially if we hold at the zone. Is 80K next? Well, we're going to talk about that. Do we still have an opportunity for price action moving to the downside? Well, you know what? We've waited 7 months. We can wait a couple more days. We got some major things happening next week, which could absolutely clear up some of this uncertainty that we're seeing in markets right now. Now, what are we doing about it? How are you doing? And how's everybody feeling today? It is Monday morning, October 28th, and I'm happy. I'm proud. I am grateful that I can be here with you. We got 127 people in the room currently here between Twitter and YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. We got some stuff we got to go over because we're still sitting here with the price action. We're back up above that 2.3 trillion mark here, total market cap. But Bitcoin's hovering right here, right under that $70,000 mark. And there's not much liquidity above us. It's starting to have cleared the way, but there are some things we need to pay attention to that could spell a little bit of a instance or a little bit of reasoning to watch for some smaller time frame targets to the downside. Now, what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, we're going to get into it. Everybody, if you are tuned in right now, welcome to the show. My name is Kellam. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. I love and respect and appreciate each and every one of you. I want every one of us to win. I want you to win. I want me to win. I want your families to win. And that's what's about to happen if you have been stacking into this market, being patient and letting the maturity of this market and this parabolic uptrend that is right on the horizon. What are we doing about it? Now, everybody, while you are tuned in right now, make sure that you head over to my Twitter page or BitLab Academy's Twitter page at Academy BitLab. If you're tuned in on YouTube or Twitter, head over to my page, hit that retweet, hit that like button. We are doing the giveaway today like we're doing every Monday now for those people that do participate in hitting that retweet, hitting that like button. That's all you got to do to enter. You're helping get the word out there. So I want to see everybody throw in a number between 10 and 30. First number I see is the number it's going to be. And then I also want to see a number between 1 and 6. So let's see what number you guys pick. And then we will do the drawing at the end of the show. And that'll be from last week's participation entries that you guys all have done. So I'm paying attention to that. Sorry. And while we wait for me to see a couple numbers, okay, we got 30. 30 is the first number. All right, boom, we write that down. The second number is 2. Awesome. So we got those 2 numbers, and we will do some math and get those giveaways later on in the show. Now, we got some big news, everybody. This is major. I can't believe this didn't actually push the market up. But Van Eck, 3 of the 6 new members of BRICS, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, and Ethiopia are mining Bitcoin with government resources. It has begun, everybody. And what we're seeing over this last year and the strength of the bullish setup is just getting stronger. In fact, I even did a post. Let me pull this up. I did a post earlier this morning, and it's just kind of funny how people respond to this. I said, I want every one of you that's been here in Bitcoin and crypto market to win. I do. I want every one of you to win. To look at your portfolio in 12 months, knowing you made the best decision of your life, break out of the system, expanding your family's future. I'm proud of you for taking this leap. Let's win together. And then, of course, you get, let me go see where it's at. This quote right here. How many cycles of look at your portfolio in 12 months is it going to take? Because no offense, I've heard that shit for years now. It's a little boy who cried wolf. Maybe the better would be to take 12 years from now. I agree. 12 years from now, it will be amazing if you're holding on and stacking in that long. But yes, every 4 years, I even commented on that. Every 4 years, we get this parabolic uptrend that is exponential growth for those people that are not chopping themselves out. They're stacking in. They had a balanced portfolio, taking advantage of what the time in this market can do if you're not making silly emotional moves. And at the same time, again, we have governments using their resources to mine Bitcoin. So Russia's sovereign wealth fund is also investing in Bitcoin mining throughout BRICS countries with the goal of setting global trade in Bitcoin. In addition to that, we just saw Emory University allocating about 22% of their endowment into Bitcoin. And that doesn't even think about Columbia. I went to Columbia University. Do you know that they've got over $50 billion in their endowment? Same thing with also Harvard and Yale and Princeton. It's so much money. If we start seeing the dominoes fall and those sorts of places getting exposure to Bitcoin, guys, it's only just begun. And where some people are still worried where we're at right now. In fact, we also got Kanye West himself speaking prophecies about Bitcoin. Listen to what he said.
The Bitcoin guys, and these are guys that really have a perspective on what the true liberation of America and humanity will be. These guys, a lot of specifically these guys, but a lot of the tech guys were able to use the new highways, the new information highways, and create the next frontier of our existence.
Get down on it, man. This is, guys, we are just so bullish. Now, during the last 5 years, 80% of money supply was created. In the last 5 years, 80% of any money that's ever existed has been created. ETFs have bought 1 million Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has bought 252,000 Bitcoin. Trump has endorsed Bitcoin, and it's available Bitcoin on exchanges went from 3.2 million to 2.3. The supply available out there in the market to be bought has shrunk dramatically, and we're only seeing more people look for access to buy, whether it's through ETFs, electronically traded products or funds, or off exchange. So TikTok, says Marty Boggs, and I do agree. In addition to that, let's hit that like button, show some love for content that we're looking at. Emory University, this is what I was talking about, $15.8 million worth of Bitcoin, the first endowment to report Bitcoin position. Now, most important thing here is with that, every institution type is now represented in the Bitcoin ETFs, 13Fs, endowments, banks, I don't even know what HF is, insurance companies, advisor, pensions, holding companies, VC, trust, family office, brokerage. Absolutely insane feat for a category less than a year old, akin to winning all 4 tennis Grand Slams before the 16th birthday. The base is here. Again, it has only just begun. Now, continuing on, what do we see? U.S. Bitcoin ETFs holdings breaking out. Look at this. This is the basically total held. And we're seeing breaking out of this sort of range that has kind of been consolidating under, and now breaking out here, sort of front running where the Bitcoin price soon will head as well, which is up and to the right. But we got to make sure, just because we're excited about it going up and to the right in the near future, it doesn't mean it can't have a little bit of a washout that could really wreck a lot of people. Do not trade emotionally right now when the market is setting up for the best setup in history. Okay. Now, continuing on, what else we got? Bitcoin speculation is redlining. Good news for long-term sat stackers, as it suggests a buy the dip opportunity is coming. Longer term environment is improving. So speculation model, we're getting a lot of, it's a nice little uptick here. It does suggest that we may, because things are getting a little overheated in terms of the leverage play, the open interest in this market. And with that, we are very bullish, but in the near term, we may get a little bit of a washout. I'd love for this just to go directly to 80K next, but I do think there might be a little bit of a move. Even if we push up from here and don't quite, maybe say we hit 70, maybe we hit 72, and then have the washout, or we have the washout now. Either way, I think right now patience is the name of the game. So shout out to Willie Woo. What a great chart that is here. And this is what I was talking about. Over the past 16 days, starting from the 63K level, major players have accumulated a significant cluster of unrealized profit in terms of volume. This is the highest level in 4 years. This data indicates how actively coins are being bought up at current levels. Look at this massive spike right in here, defending this zone essentially. We're getting a lot of interest. This is not a sign of a top. Now, again, can we get a little bit of a whipsaw? Absolutely. We saw that last week at the very end, right at the very end of the week. Where is that chart? And that was the fake Tether FUD that basically had a huge wick very quick to the downside. And then, of course, it came out as FUD. I don't know how that got published, but understanding that the Tether CEO denies the investigation, reveals over $100 billion in reserves. Tether CEO Paolo Arduano, I don't know how to say that, recently clarified the company's reserve assets, revealing that Tether holds about $100 billion in U.S. treasuries, over 82,000 Bitcoin, worth about $5.5 billion, and 48 tons of gold to support USDT. You could argue that Tether is better set up than any bank in America. Now, why would that be? Because banks during March of 2020, a little quietly under the radar, where everything was going on with COVID. The world was shutting down the economy as a whole. And they kind of silently went out there and changed the ruling for banks to have, that term for fractional reserve banking, where they have to hold 10%. Since March 2020, they were required to hold 0% backing for the assets that they're supposed to have on deposit. But Tether, they're giving it FUD, and it's got 100 billion in reserves, 5.5 billion in Bitcoin, and 48 tons of gold. This is better set up than any central bank that's out there in the world. So let's not act emotionally right now, because this is the time where the emotions are ripe for some really big moves. We talked about those Bollinger Bands being very tight and constricted as well. Some volatility is inbound. So we see the accumulation, the aggressive buying at this level. We see, remember that since 2012, Bitcoin has always broken out to new highs after the US elections. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're at. We are on the precipice. Now, that doesn't mean we can't have that shakeout. So do not get emotional right now. It is stacking season. And with that, we can also see Bitcoin pump. This is what I was talking about with leverage. Bitcoin pump driven by leverage right now. So we are ripe right now to have a little bit of a shake your ass out if you don't have the right type of conviction. Bitcoin's price surge is being driven by leverage positions. You can see this open interest change, 24 percentage. We can see this massive spike we're at right now. So watch out for the whipsaw. And with that, I do want to say, remember, we are stacking. We want to be prepared. We want to be safe. We want to get everything and make sure through this time and 12 months from now, we don't also open ourselves up to have our wallets, to have our crypto, to have our accounts hacked and stolen. So that's why I did set up an incredible deal with NordVPN. It's also a great way not only for you to protect yourself in everything that you do online, not just crypto, but also you get 4 months free by signing up through this. It's nordvpn.com/BitLab. And of course, if you scroll right below, right here in this description area, the link is right here, and I'm going to post this in the live chat. Get NordVPN, nordvpn.com/BitLab. You get 4 months free. And if you're tuned in over there on Twitter, you can see it. If you expand this and just go into the comments, I have the link for our free traders group right here, and I have the link right here for the NordVPN. Now, with that being said, we got our homeboy in the house, Mr. Crypto Danks. Let me go ahead and get him assigned really quick. We're going to bring him on, talk about what's going on in these markets. How the hell you doing, my man? I hear you've been having a bit of a winning streak over there back at the poker tables.
What's going on, BitLab Academy family? Kelly, good to see you, my man. Hope all is well. Yeah, I'm a professional poker player by trade, by hobby, by whatever. I've taken it seriously for quite some time. And, when the markets get kind of weird, sometimes I just kind of default to the poker table to just fatten my pockets so I can go ahead and dump that right back into the market. And it's been very, very lucrative, I would say, over the last few days. That's for sure. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing good. I had a much needed sort of weekend away from crypto for the most part. I did take a trade last night, got 48% profits on it. I was out and about, so I wasn't able to get it posted in the Telegram because I was literally out and I was just like, so I just did it really quick. But what are you looking at, man? Are you feeling like it's getting ripe for that breakout, or you feel like something's brewing for a little bit of a shake people out?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been talking about this same bull flag, descending channel thing going on here, but now we've broken on the daily our major threshold, which was this descending channel. We've broken it a few times, but we're unable to actually sustain. What we need to see on this daily chart, these are the daily candlesticks here. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. What we need to see really for Bitcoin to just continue to the upside, I'd really like to see a daily candle, which this has got 8 hours left. I mean, close nice and full above this descending channel and then start another green full-bodied wick up to the upside and then potentially break this 70K and continue to the upside. Now, it's funny how, everybody's still looking for that whiplash move to the downside. However, if we do consider that move to the downside, I don't think it's going to be as big as some might think it could have been. Now, before we're talking potentially going down to the 48 level, which is at the bottom of this descending trend right here. I mean, I just don't know if I see that if we do end up breaking and coming all the way back down. However, I will point one very bullish thing out. Well, a couple of things. We've got the higher lows and the higher highs, right? Right here. Now, that would be interesting if this was our next higher low, and then we move up. But also, we have forming right here. All right. Our golden cross on the daily. So
Oh yeah.
that to me is very, very interesting. And also, we've got a cross here on the MACD and also the cross formation right about to happen the same time of the golden cross about to happen, the same time as we've got the RSI also about to cross over. Now, we could get rejected off this RSI. Now, I did put this break above 67.53. This is a key level on the RSI as far as moving up towards higher highs. But honestly, there's a big chance that we just move up from here, especially because we have, guess what? The election's coming up in a week. All right. Donald Trump leading 65.7% and also crushing in the swing states right now. It looked like, if I'm not incorrect here. So popular vote winner. Yeah. So Arizona, 73, Georgia, 73, Nevada, 64, 53, 60. I mean, these are big, big spots to be taking the lead here. And that's what's thrust Donald Trump into position to take leadership. And, if we're honest with ourselves as voters, as Americans, one thing is for sure. We know that we've gotten an opportunity to get to know Donald Trump. All right. This is his third running. Okay. So he won the first time, says that he did even more numbers in the second time than the first time. However, he did not win. And now he's leading by almost a landslide at this point, 65.7 to 34.3. Now, the thing is, we've gotten to know Donald Trump. Whether you like him or not, I could say that this man personally, my belief is that he has a bleeding heart for this country. He's leaned into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency side of the financial markets, as well as, liquid gold, as he calls it, oil and gas, right? So, he's favoring things that are going to help sway his vote. Now, do I think that he's doing it just for the vote? No, not necessarily. I think that him showing up at Bitcoin 2024 says a lot because the guy is super busy. Also, he's a billionaire and he's super rich. He doesn't have to be anywhere, right? He decided that day to show up in Nashville, of all places, and he gave a speech. Was it that great? In my opinion, not really, but he was there and he spoke. Harris has declined all opportunities to speak at any Bitcoin conferences. She's not going on the Joe Rogan podcast, which Trump did well and spoke for 3 hours, had a conversation. So he's putting himself in front of the everyday normal person, as well as hasn't taken a day off in the last 60 days, roughly, as Harris has taken the last 3 days off. So, this is moving towards us, having a crypto pro president. And that's very bullish in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think what it's going to be interesting because this is the first cycle where we're really having crypto being like, I don't want to say fully integrated, but it's very much a part of this election. But then we also have things like you have on the screen right there, poly market, where we have these betting markets. It's going to be very interesting to see the difference between traditional polling and the betting markets, and if there's a massive discrepancy between what truly plays out and what it's looking like through this, because for the most part, Americans are not supposed to, quote unquote, be participating in poly market. But at the same time, it's very interesting. But either way, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum will be fine. I think things will just be accelerated if Trump's in office, and things will be a little bit slower, especially for altcoins if Kamala's in office. But let's get back to looking at some charts and see what's going on. We're seeing a pretty big, almost record outflow on Ethereum and a major inflows on Solana. Do you expect that to kind of persist on in this cycle, or do you think it's just a bit of a narrative that's just playing out at the moment and might change once the market gets to ripping?
That's an interesting question. Look, I drew up this golden pocket zone. I think it was actually the last time I was on stream with you, maybe before or around that time. And we did fall right. No, it must have been, yeah, I think it was right around that time. See if we can sustain and move up towards higher highs. So, what's interesting is, yes, I think that we're going to continue with Solana and Ethereum. However, we do have to realize that Bitcoin dominance is at almost 60%. This is the, let's see if I can pull it up here. When we have Bitcoin dominance at this level, let me pull Bitcoin's chart up. Oh, it's already here, actually. I had it ready. So when we look at this, all right, Bitcoin dominance will typically start to move and go into an upwards trend before Bitcoin actually makes its big move. We see it here. All right. Bitcoin, shortly after dominance rises, it starts to top out. Now, also, again, Bitcoin dominance is starting to move, and Bitcoin starts its big break after Bitcoin dominance moves. Now, we have to remember, when Bitcoin dominance is going up, Bitcoin also going up, USDT dominance is falling, Bitcoin is pretty much retaining a large portion of that market cap. Remember, Ethereum and Solana are still altcoins at the end of the day. Now, I think that they categorize themselves as a little bit different than just altcoins, because they're not like, sub, 1 billion market cap cryptos. These are the leading narrative cryptos in altcoins in general, right? So as far as the inflows, we have, well, one thing is up for sure. We have the perfect storm for the catalyst of all of these coins ripping, whether it's Bitcoin first, most likely Bitcoin first, and then others will either bleed and then follow, or some top ones like ETH, Solana, maybe XRP and some others will also follow behind Bitcoin along with. But in the history of crypto, we know and we've experienced that Bitcoin goes up, altcoins will tend to bleed, especially if Bitcoin starts hitting these key levels that it can't thrust past, right? Like we've recently experienced this 69K level, and we've been at this level for quite some time. We can't really break this whole spot right here that we've been in this last week, 2 weeks. And what's been happening to altcoins? Well, they've been bleeding. Look at the weekly, all right? Look at the monthly. This whole month, basically, Bitcoin has been at this level, right? Where am I at? So, I wouldn't say the whole month, but what do we got? Like at least 2 weeks here. So the better part of a week and a half to 2 weeks, Bitcoin has been, topping. And when it gets to those levels that it can't just push past, altcoins kind of freak out and then they start to bleed, because the whole entire altcoin market, it just happens to be that it follows Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin can't push up, then altcoins just kind of, they get destabilized, right? Now, I think that Solana and Ethereum and the inflows that we have are, one, they are definitely record breaking, with institutional inflows being, I think, like overall, especially just for Bitcoin, $27 or $28 billion in the year of 2024. But the political landscape is going to have a massive impact, not just on Bitcoin and not just on Ethereum, but also like the top 10. You know what I mean? I think that they kind of fall into a different category than the rest of the altcoin market.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I think again, it's going to be very interesting to see the kind of capital flow and if there's a rotation of capital similar to what we've seen in the previous cycles. And again, I think it'll be some fairly different scenarios within the broader crypto ecosystem, with one administration versus the other. And for anybody that's like, you all know, I don't particularly talk a lot of politics on here, but when we're looking at the markets right now, the crypto markets, and it is tied into this narrative or this idea about which direction regulation may go, then that's going to have a big impact based on which administration is there historically, based on what you're seeing them participate in. In this case, it's interesting that with Donald Trump, he's not just talking about it. He's launched NFTs. He holds Ethereum. He spoke at the Bitcoin conference, and on the other side, you have somebody that's just supported never-ending regulation by enforcement and just limiting the market. And you have people like Elizabeth Warren, who just has no understanding of crypto, or she understands it so deeply that she's so threatened by it that she tries to make it seem like it's some bad thing. And at the same time, what we see 2 weeks ago, we saw TD Bank fined billions of dollars for money laundering.
$3 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen JP Morgan Chase over the course of the last 20 years be fined something like $30 billion in fines and fees and so crypto is not the problem. It's, the mismanagement of banks and how the funding through fiat systems has been. So I'm so happy we're ahead of the game here. But what else are you looking at in the market, brother?
Well, yeah. I mean, before we move on to there's a couple of things I wanted to say, but I will point out here, this does state we've seen an outflow of roughly $35 million in Ethereum outflows in general, right, over the last week. However, Solana, second highest inflow of 10.8 million, followed by Litecoin at 1.8. That's a huge, first of all, that's 10 times. It's almost, what is that? It's like, well, it's like 5x basically the amount of Litecoin, which Litecoin is an OG with Bitcoin and Ethereum and all those. So, one thing I wanted to point out again, right? We didn't put this person in the running, right? Harris was not voted in by the United States citizens. All right. Got into vice president's candidacy by being brought in by Joe Biden, and then now thrusted into the run of the campaign of the presidency nominee for the Democrats from the Democrats, right? So again, this is like, it almost feels like the people versus the deep state. I don't know. I shouldn't say too much on that. What else I'm looking at is I did throw a little bit more of my bag at Polytrade. It did dip out. We did see a whale sell off recently. So taking advantage of that, very small portion of my allocation. Caspa also getting caught up in the war zone, right? And this is one major thing that I think we've even talked about on this channel, is Shy, a developer of Caspa. He's so political on his Twitter that he really, it's tough to say, but he really kind of aligns Caspa with this, with the Jewish, it's not a negative thing, but this almost this Zionist, like heavy Jewish side, and it kind of makes the coin itself lean towards the Jewish state or Jewish, religion or what have you, not necessarily religion, but, Israel in general. So because of the fact that Israel has gotten involved in, the military aspect of their, whatever they've got going on over there, the coin has also kind of fallen into that category of, oh no, what are we going to see here? I don't know. It's just the news, Caspa's tied to Israel. Israel's in war. Caspa's tanking. I did buy some though. I picked some up at 11 cents or so, had a limit order, and it wicked down here, and I went ahead and was able to fulfill an order. So that, these are things that are right now are affecting the market, but give us an opportunity to go ahead and make these purchases that we probably didn't think we'd see. I mean, Caspa was recently at 21 cents almost, or around there, and now we're seeing it slice more than 50%, right? So these are the opportunities, and we are likely to see, altcoins are not looking like they want to just pump galore. I'm going to tell you right now. So again, I know a lot of us have most of our money in the market, but somehow scrambling, like what I'm doing, I'm out there in the poke. I've literally been, since I got back from Singapore, I played over 240 hours of poker. I've made over $38,000 in the last 30 days or less. So this is what I am doing to try to get more powder so I can throw this into the market. You know what I mean? Because I have a feeling we're going to see a major dip in altcoins. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's probably what's going to happen because of the history of Bitcoin if we do, and hopefully when we do see Bitcoin make this big move to the upside, it's 80, 85, 90, 100K or plus, altcoins, some are going to follow, some are going to dip, some are going to do both, dip and then follow, So there are some like Aave that I really want to catch under $100 again, and that might become a reality. I can probably pull up the Fibonacci. Let's see, we're on the daily. Let's go to the 3-day here and pull from this bottom right here and see where an entry is. If you don't know Aave, Aave is a decentralized DeFi protocol that gives loans through crypto loans, right? I've said it before here. If people right now are struggling financially, they want to invest in crypto, Aave is the perfect project, and it's on Solana, right? So if we pull from this most recent pump up, the golden buy zone for me is right in here, is right in between the 0.5 and the 0.618. I'm not going to get it perfect, but I can get close right here, right? So to me, I'm looking for a buy anywhere between 102 and 120. So I'm looking to get me some more Aave, hopefully at a nice cheap price around 100 to 105, 110. Again, I'm looking for good use case, something that is needed and utility. Back to AGI, right? Because that's my artificial intelligence play next to Tau, but primarily it's AGI or Delicium. Now, Coinbase developer launches new tool to help users build AI agents in minutes called Base Agent. So I'm believing this is on the Base chain. I just saw this when I pulled up the news right before I came onto your show here, but Coinbase developer Lincoln Murr announced the launch of a new tool called Base Agent. Now, they're talking about AI agents and AGI. All right, let's just go to X, and then we'll go to Delicium or AGI Delicium. AGI is the only artificial intelligence project I know that is an AI agents tool that is partnered with Microsoft, startups of Microsoft, right? So this is something that caught my eye when I saw Coinbase jumping on this AI agents thing. Well, that to me tells me that Delicium is ahead of the game and they're with Microsoft, right? So I can't see for AI any project that has this low of a market cap. Let's go ahead and bust the market cap open here. Go to Coin Market Cap, and then we'll go to AGI. See where we're at today. It's been steady. It's actually come down 153 million in market cap, and the volume is up 100%, almost 12.5 million. Right. So these are the projects I'm looking for to do. I mean, this chart doesn't look the greatest from CoinMarketCap, but it looks pretty good. If you look at the all-time chart, CoinMarketCap, and most of these sites like CoinGecko, CryptoRank, they'll only show the chart from when the coin is on their platform, so you don't see the entire history of the chart. But again, I kind of fall right into a few specific coins. Sui is now obviously grown and becoming much more has gained a lot more attention, right? What's interesting about Sui is it's falling right into that support level, and it might bounce right off this 55 moving average. If we look here, we do have a support level right here. I saw someone in the chat mention, what about Sui? I think Sui is really looking to be a top contender in alts in general, right? So we've seen Sui do this big dip before. Okay, it actually launched. I was in the pre-sale of Sui, launched at around $1.30 ish, dipped all the way down to 30 cents ish, and then it pulled up, and then now we have this big dip. We could see a pretty heavy bleed though to the downside. Again, I'm always looking for buy opportunities, so I try to find the best potential buy zone here. You could probably say, again, falling down between 120 and 140. I'm right now, I'm looking for altcoin buy opportunities. That's what I'm looking for. And everything else that is packed, I'm trying to bring my average as close to low as possible, right? So for me, what I do is I just go to all my charts. I cleared them all up for the show, but I go to all my charts and I just mark up my buy zone. And then also, if you're on TradingView, I can go in here, right? And I can set an alert on SUI when we pass this level. So I'll get an alert, right? That way I can look at my, I don't have to even look at my chart. It'll pop up on my phone and I'll get an alert right here. Okay, SUI passed the top part of my buy zone. Let's see what's going to happen from there, right? You can even put one up maybe at the another level up just in case. That's for Aave. So now I'm prepared. Also, another thing is you can also place, and this is not financial advice, but placing limit orders at prices that almost seem like you'd probably never get. You'd be surprised. Get a wick down like Caspa. I bet people didn't think they'd catch it at under 10.5 cents, but if they set their limit orders at that price, they hit it, right? So there's a lot of projects that I think we're going to have an opportunity to make nice pricing for an entry, or if not an entry, at least a DCA to bring your price average down. Tau, you know, Tau has outperformed the entire market as far as altcoins, and we're starting to see this cup and handle form on the daily. So I'd be curious to see what happens here if we bounce off this 55
Yeah, what
moving
are you
average.
following Render at all? You have any Vatican here in the chat said what's Render looking like? You got any short term or longer term price targets on that?
We can definitely hop on it. I am not, I don't follow Render as much as some others. Now, I will say Render has a potential to do look, this is one of the most leading GPU AI, like, I guess like market, I don't know if it's marketplace, but the GPU rental cloud services type of thing, artificial intelligence, this is kind of leading the pack for that, and it's been around for a while, right? So people are familiar with Render. I think that Render is at a pretty good price, actually. It looks like it's at a support level. Let's see what we've got here. I put on these Bollinger Bands. These are called Bollinger Bands here. Let me change the color on this right here. So the basis and then the upper, let's just change it to whatever that color looks like, almost green, right? So you can use the Bollinger Bands to kind of find out where you're at in the overall trend. It uses moving averages and all of the candlesticks and all of that to kind of give you a general direction and then an entry level, right? So when you're at the bottom of this Bollinger Band, even before I open up the rest of these indicators that I will in just a second, I can see that we're in the bottom range of this Bollinger Band. Every time we're in the bottom range of the Bollinger Band, it tends to move to the upside of the Bollinger Band. Once we hit the up top part of the Bollinger Band up here, then we move back down and we tap, move back up, okay? And we keep moving and trending in this direction, up and down, up and down. So for me, if I'm looking for a buy spot or an opportunity to make an entry on Render, this is looking like it would be it. Let me see on Render where we are overall. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good price. This was the price that we were at back in August, right before we had that major decline. So we're back again at the price of before this last big push up in March, right? So we're already a 2x, I mean a 3x away from the highs of March, and I don't see any reason why Render will not hit that, right? So I think that let's go ahead and open up some of these others here. Render on the MACD looking bearish, RSI bearish, and market cipher B is bearish. I think we're probably going to see a little bit more of a dip for Render. Let me pull open one little thing here. I got the UT bot alerts set on what? Is it 2? Yeah, 2. So there's something called UT bot alerts. It's free. You can it's part of the trading view. If you add UT bot alerts, it'll help give you an idea of what the overall market is saying, buy or sell. If you come in and you adjust, it'll start at 1. 1 is too it's too swingy. It's too much, too fast. You can go to 3 if you want, but I usually do 2 or 3, you know, and it'll kind of say, okay, well, I haven't seen a buy signal yet. We've already broken down past this 55 moving average. Now, the 200 is also kind of moving this way. If we get a thing like this and we start using this as resistance, we could fall even further. Let's see what we've got here. Let's go ahead and do that. Get rid of the bot alerts. Yeah, it looks like we're using the, what we need to see is if we're going to see more dip to the downside, we're going to have to see at least this 21 moving average come and use it as resistance. But overall, looking bearish. I could probably pull open the Fibonacci's from the last bottom price back in, if I can get up here somewhere. My dog is snoring over here. Let's see.
Look at that,
Yeah,
sitting
so
perfectly on that,
yeah,
shelf. Is that
yeah,
the 382? What is that?
this is so
272?
right here we're actually at the 786. So we've
Okay.
fallen down under the 618, which would be the golden zone. But that's why I was actually gonna pull, instead of going to the top of the wick, if I just pull down to the actual body, then we start to see still, I mean, this has gotten beaten up pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But also we've seen, you know, other like Tau, mentioning Tau before, it's fallen a pretty significant amount as well from this last run up here. So what do we got? From up here down, we're seeing a 25% decrease. If we go back to render, I remember when you and I, we were in Singapore and you were talking about render. I think it was up due for a long, and you just about nailed that one there. So now, okay, so yeah, we've seen a significant dip in these AI coins. Look, from around the same time, Tau, this has also dipped 30.5%. So not, you know, unacceptable by any means. Definitely looking like kind of the norm for at least these two. Let's see. What is there anything that is there are there any other AI projects that you're into? Is Near actually, I'm not too familiar. Is Near actually an AI project, or do they just use AI as kind of part
No,
of what they do?
they're definitely building. They definitely have AI integrated with them, but they're also I've sat and spoke with a couple of their key members of their team, like top level guys. They have some major things that they're also rolling out here. I think around the beginning of the year, this coming year, with near of some DeepIn stuff that they're rolling out as well as AI. But yeah, I'm also, Delicium. You put that on my radar. But then, of course, I think the GPU stuff also rides that narrative. It's like DeepIn for AI. So Aether is one of those
Mhm.
ones I'm watching. It's newer, so we haven't seen any sort of large push yet. Just it's been trading mostly in the range. Chlor AI, of course.
Are
And
you
I
familiar with Chlor? I don't know if we've ever talked about it, actually, you and I.
we've never talked about it. Yeah, do a little breakdown on it.
Yeah, so Chlor, this was actually the first GPU AI marketplace that I ever invested in back at 1 cent last year. It was right around this time I got my community in, and we rode it all the way up. I actually took profits early at 26 cents, 25 cents. No, I'm sorry, 23 cents. It dipped and then it moved again back up to the 40s. This is an interesting project that's kind of overlooked, and it's a very low market cap at 21.8 million. It is a proof of work GPU marketplace. I'm going to show you guys something, because when I'm looking at projects like this that are obscure and maybe I've never heard of it before, and you know, I've been watching this project since it's come on my radar at almost under a penny, right? So they have this decentralized GPU marketplace. You can go on and check out, you know, all of their. Let's see. It says use Community Cloud. This is new to me here. Remember my selection. Okay, well, so let's go back. Why is it doing that? Let me get back here. Do a refresh. Go to the marketplace. So when I'm looking at this type of thing, I want to look at the marketplace and see what's the actual activity happening on their marketplace? Sorry for the slow internet. I don't know what's going on here, but back before when I first saw this project, if it loads, it was showing, because it has a ranking system or like a rating, and it'll show how many people rated this GPU renter. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So here, so not yet rated. This looks new. 8 ratings. Let's see, 8 ratings, 2, 10, 18, 6. Whether the score is good or not, I'm not really looking at. I'm looking at the amount of ratings, right? When I first found the project, you would be lucky to find 1 rating on any of these. So to see that this is up like 300%, 3,000%, 5,000% in ratings alone, that to me says that it's being utilized. Now, then I go and I look, say, how are the ratings? Looks like most are coming in under 3 stars, right? Which is not that great. So maybe there's some issue with who they're allowing to rent out and all of that. Maybe that needs to be fixed and adjusted. But if you're looking for a proof of work layer 1 that also has a proof of holding, which is kind of like a staking, if you will. I'm not going to dump into that too heavy, but just something that I thought I'd mention since we were talking on that narrative.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of the challenging things I've found in this market is you'll get allocations to various different projects, and then you learn about another one. You're like, oh, I want that too. Oh, I want that too. Oh, I want that too. And so it's kind of a process of, you got to figure out, when you are getting allocated to stuff that you care about. That's one of the weird things I think people do in this market is they're buying something just because they think it'll make themselves money. And I find it's so much easier to really manage a portfolio and ride or die with it, or whatever you're doing. By doing the diligence on stuff, it becomes so much easier if you care about what the project's doing, if you care about that narrative, if you care about what's happening, rather than it just being this thing that then you're frustrated. Like Chainlink, obviously one of the most important projects in the crypto ecosystem, but it also had a 580-day or something sideways consolidation. And if you didn't believe in it, I think a lot of people probably got chopped out. And I don't think that the price has even yet once reflected the incredible importance that it will have in the coming years. So for me, is it boring sometimes? Sure, but I don't care because I really believe in that project. So it makes it easy to hodl on that and stack into it. It just means that the winds haven't shifted in favor of it yet for the speculation.
Yeah, absolutely. Chainlink, it's one of a kind due to its Oracle services, right? So it kind of acts as a primary bridge between blockchain and real world data. So, not only that, it's also providing price feeds for most major DeFi protocols. And it allows smart contracts to be executed on the basis of real world events. I'm pretty sure there's no other project out there that's like Chainlink. So this, I think Chainlink is here to stay, and the fact that it is pretty much one of a kind. I don't see any other project doing what they've done, building the adoption that they've built, and also building the real world interoperability, right? So when we're talking like as far as a market position, the partnerships with major financial institutions is massive with Chainlink. I'd be curious to know what those would be. Chainlink, let's see, Chainlink partnerships. Let's
Dude,
see
they are
what we got.
so integrated. It's not even funny.
Yeah, they have a huge list of Swift. This is a very big blockchain initiatives. This is huge. Swift alone. I mean, if you can go to their site, chainlinkecosystem.com, and just see like their entire ecosystem and who they've been working with, I mean, the list is never ending, right? And this is what you want to look for. Now, a lot of times we're on Twitter or X and we're like, oh, this project, another partnership, another partnership. Like sometimes it seems like a little ridiculous, some of these projects that have hardly any use case, or they do seem to maybe have a use case, but all they focus on is building partnerships. But Chainlink has a specific thing that they're doing that nobody else is doing, right? 2,237 results as far as pretty much like involved with some type of other product. That's over 2,000 different products that they're involved in business with. Aave being one of them, right? Again, integrating real world and blockchain technology. This also can refer to anything, right? From banking. Okay. Like you want to talk about integrating XRP into the financial markets. Well, you can use Chainlink as an oracle to use the data from the blockchain of XR. I mean, there's so many different opportunities to use something like Chainlink. And I think it's kind of slept on, to be honest. The price definitely has not reflected what it can do. I'm surprised that the high is not even $25 for this year and since the bull run in general, the previous cycle. Um, but
And look where it's sitting
again,
right now, too. It's sitting right there on that moving average.
yeah, it is. It's sitting right here. Let's see. Well, so on the daily, this is a 3-day. Let me see. Yeah, we're just on the daily, right on this 55. And it's come and it's bounced up and over. So it's been faked out to come under. Let's see where we're at as far as the weekly real quick. So the weekly is actually pretty bullish. So we have this cross here on the weekly. We've got growing histograms. These look, just so you know, if you don't know, these are called histograms. These little bars here on the MACD. Now we do have a cross here on the MACD. All right, that's very bullish. Let's see what else we've got. The RSI, we've tested it, rebounced off of it, and it looks like we want to test it again, and we're actually pushing up on the weekly. How's the market cipher be? Money flowing in. Money's been flowing in. Price has been declining. So to me, we might have some type of divergence possibly. It's not anything serious, but there is an opportunity for a big push up because look, on the weekly, what do we have? A weekly golden cross, which would be the first ever for Chainlink, by the way. This is a big deal. All right. And a lot of people, they might miss something like this, right? But I'm not going to miss that. So that's the weekly time frame. We could end up seeing a bullish cross, histograms growing bigger, MACD pushing to the upside. And once the RSI breaks this neutral zone, it's off to the races for Chainlink. So this also could move up based off of the election because of, if Donald Trump gets into office, that's very bullish for Chainlink as well, more so than other cryptocurrencies, just like Bitcoin, right? So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Another one is HNT or Helium Network. This is a real world applicable project that is 5G hotspots, over 1 million of them around the world. It's on the Solana chain. It's a decentralized cell phone service. They've actually put themselves on Apple's store, and I think it's actually, if I'm not mistaken, preloaded as an app that will be on the phone. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I know for sure it's in the Apple App Store. I can even just go and look here and just type in Helium Mobile Apple. Yeah, right here on the App Store, right? I don't actually have an Apple. I don't utilize Apple, but Helium, they have two tokens. They have mobile and they have Helium. So this is also something that I'd be looking at, right? 3.9 out of 5. Why is that? You'd have to go and do deeper research, but again, what are we looking at here? We're looking at things that can be long-term utilized from real applications, right? Real things that are able to have longevity in the market, not just to make us money. So for me, and a lot like you, Kelly, I'm here for the not just the money. The money is great, but I'm also here for the growth and adoption of technology, because at the end of the day, you and I are both similar in the fact that we just love technology and the growth thereof it, right? So these are projects that I'm looking at, and these are things that I think that we should all be trying to pay attention to. I do have a theory, and I'm kind of curious on your thoughts. All right.
What's that?
Um, I want to know what you think. We have all these layer twos, all right, for Ethereum. Okay, we've got rollups, we've got ZK rollups, layer twos. Now, a lot of these projects, Optimism, what have you, were built before Ethereum moved to proof of stake and added more nodes. They were built around the fact that Ethereum had extremely high gas fees, a slow transactions per second. Do you think, I'm curious, I want to know an expert's opinion. Do you think that these types of projects will become obsolete due to the fact that Ethereum scaled to such a much better overall status as far as what people were so worried about, as far as fees and the speed and all of that? Or do
You
you think
know,
that Matic and all these others are still going to be fine?
I think there's going to be a place for quite a pretty robust different types of technologies that are used with different projects. I do think over the next 20 years, there's going to be a huge sort of there's going to be obviously in 15 years, for instance, there's going to be an entirely different makeup of the coin market cap rankings than we see now. Just like from 2018 to now, that changes dramatically over time. I think there's going to be a narrowing of the field as well. I think some things will be regulated out. Some things will be, some things are going to be adopted by certain key players, like maybe it's Amazon, maybe it's Apple, maybe there's going to be some major player that sort of different partnerships are going to kind of dub which ones are really going to see long-term longevity in the market. But I think on the altcoin side, other than Chainlink, and I would still be a little bit careful there. I think that you have to be very considerate about the idea of each cycle. There are altcoins that you can play, but I don't really look to altcoins as like, hey, I'm buying these and forgetting about them for 10 years because of that. But I think there's going to be a variety of different technologies, different projects that are going to be utilized for different reasons. There's going to be different security requirements as well as speed, as well as sometimes, we're like, well, this other things are faster. Well, some people like the sort of more legacy and security aspect of Ethereum versus Solana. Some people don't like this huge centralization of Solana. But then, I'm just looking at it for altcoins cycle by cycle, man.
I hear you. I'm right there. I mean, at the end of the day, we are just here as spectators and investors. And what's amazing is that we actually get to experience all of this, right? Imagine in 100 years what it's going to look like. We don't know, but I will tell you for sure, the cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. And I think the financial landscape is going to change drastically over the next 100 years. Cryptography, obviously, being an integral part in probably the growth of financial markets. Looks like we're getting close to that 60%. What do you think happens when we cross 60% on BTC dominance?
I mean, I think we could still, I think we might push up into that, maybe go a little higher. But I do think the altcoins, whether it's by the end of this year or sometime in Q1, I do think we're going to start seeing a huge amount of capital once the market gets excited again. We need new players to come into the space. But as it stands right now, I think we're incredibly bullish with what's happening in the market. If we do get a little bit of a washout, I think that's healthy. But I'm really looking forward to 2025 for the crypto market.
2025 is going to be a spectacle. And that falls back on just saying, like, I'm fortunate to be here and have the opportunity to mingle and chat with people like yourself and many others that we've gotten to know over the last year and even longer than that. We are literally just sitting here enjoying an amazing time of life, right? This is the most technologically advanced that we know of that we've ever been on this planet. So as far as where we are today, we are in the most exciting time. And being 2025, an amazing year, with hopefully a new, just a new direction overall politically for the United States, financially for the United States. Maybe we can start moving in a direction where people are a little bit more of a positive sentiment in their overall bankroll and their life role financially, because a lot of people have been struggling. You know, they put out this narrative that you know, people aren't struggling and that jobs are fully available and this and that, but you know, the truth is we're out here dealing with it, and it's obvious that people have been struggling. So I think that 2025 is going to give a lot of financial freedom.
Hey, I'm here for it, and it's always good to have you on Talking Markets and Talking Life. Everybody, I got his page pulled up here. Make sure you go give him a follow at CryptoDanksX. As you can see right here, he's got great content also on his YouTube, and of course, he's got his own Patreon and community as well. But Danks, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks for talking life, getting in here, bringing the good vibes, and we're gonna wrap this out. I got to do a little giveaway here for everybody. Giving away.
Thanks for having me.
I think it's the last Arculus we have, but thank you for being here, brother. And I'll be talking to you later on, I'm sure.
Thanks for having me, boss. Everyone, take care. Good to see you. We'll see you in the next one.
Adios, my friend. Now, everybody, we got to do that giveaway. So again, reminder, we do a giveaway every Monday, and it's of the previous weeks. Everybody that's out there showing love, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, but most importantly, coming over here on my Twitter page at Kelly Kellam or at Academy BitLab, hitting that retweet, hitting that like button. But we got the numbers 2 and we got the numbers 30. So it will be Tuesday last week. What is the date? What was Tuesday last week? Tuesday last week was the 22nd. So let's get down there. And then the other number was 30. I don't think we're going to have 30 people that did it. So we'll do 30 divided by 2 because those are the two numbers. So we will count to 15 to figure out who we're doing the giveaway to. Where is it at? Let's see. Almost there. I just tweet so much. Where are we at? Here it is. Boom. Oh, we do. Okay, so we had so let's count the quote tweets first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Taco Fisher, are you in the house? I'll reach out to you and get you sent off. Actually, I still have to send out last week, so I'll send them both out today. If you get, I'll follow you too, just to make sure. And I'll send you a thing. Oops, back. Okay, Taco Fisher. There we go. Congratulations. Your address so I can send you a. Oops. That's all we got for today, everybody. We're going to head over to the blockchain basement, show some love. Everybody, let's go get in there and be active in the live chat. Say BitLab is here, and we're going to drop it from there. I love you guys. I appreciate you. The markets are setting up. Don't get chopped out this week. I think we still are a little due for a little uncertainty before we finally get that final sort of decision on what's going to happen next week. So let's keep our head up. Shout out to my boy Crypto Danks for being here, dropping all that knowledge. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. That's all we got. Adios, muchachos.